ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. Today I'm talking about meat eating and the Sikh religion. One of the greatest debates of the present times in a Sikh household is centered around the prohibition and or sanction of meat eating. Most of the Sant Deras, which have sprung in Punjab like wild mushrooms, and that too in the recent past, are shouting at the top of their voice that the Sikhs are forbidden to eat any form of meat. They are quoting, or in my opinion, misquoting Sikh scriptures, chronicles, and Gurbani to prove their point. They are twisting religious stories to suit their point of view. The term of reference of my present discussion I have confined to, first of all, definition of meat eating and the world religions, meat eating and God realization, meat eating and the Sikh gurus, meat eating and Guru Granth Sahib, meat eating and the Sikh Rahat Maryada. Sikh Rahat Maryada is the Sikh law book. The term meat eating here refers to all kind of non-human flesh eating. It includes flesh of all species living on earth, under the earth, and in the water. It, however, excludes all kind of vegetation, which also has life and is a living body. There are 7 living world religions: Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Judaism, Sikhism, Buddhism, and Jainism. Christians, Muslims, and Jews constitute about 70% of the world population, and they are all meat eaters. 90% of them, rather more than 90% of them, are meat eaters. In fact, their staple diet is meat. In Hinduism, which is the predominant religion in India and Nepal, and which constitute another 10% of the world population, it is only 31% people who are vegetarians. The Kshatriyas, who are the warrior class and princely class, they are all meat eaters. Other Hindu castes, including Brahmins and others, which constitute again between 40 to 50%, they are meat eaters. And in the world statistics, there are only 31% Indian population which is considered as vegetarian. In large number of Hindu temples which are dedicated to Mother Kali, bull sacrifice is very common. The bull is killed and the meat is first offered to Mother Kali and then to the devotees. Most of the Mother Kali's temple, of course, are in Bengal. The 2 world religions which forbid meat eating are Buddhism and Jainism. Both religions originated in India about 630 BC and left their mark on Hinduism. Buddhism then spread to China, Japan, Bangkok, Burma, Ceylon, and other Far East countries, and mixed up with the local traditions and the prevalent faiths. Most of these countries are now meat-eating countries. The only religion where maybe 99% people are vegetarians, that is Jainism, and most of it has been absorbed in Hinduism. In reality, meat eating has no direct link to God realization. Nowhere and in none of the scriptures it is written that if you eat meat, you will not be accepted to God. World prophets, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, and Ram were certainly not strict vegetarians. Total world population, which is strict vegetarian, is not more than 3 to 4%. Guru Granth Sahib has many hymns of the Sikh Gurus, which directly or indirectly refer to either meat eating or to general killing. But none of these hymns actually either promote or forbid to devotees to eat meat. I have reproduced some compositions of Guru Nanak where he does refer to meat eating in India at different occasions. And these hymns are mostly from Asa Di War and Rag Malhar. In one of the slokas in Asa Di War, Guru Nanak says, Hak paraya nanka us suar us gaye. The slok testifies that the Muslims are prohibited to eat pork and Hindus are prohibited to eat cow. He further says in one of his slokas, Kaho bakra rin khaya, sabko aakhe paye. The scenario of this slok is probably the Hindu thread ceremony, where in this he says that Guru Nanak is talking about the futility of wearing the sacred thread, and he says that on such ceremonies the meat eating was very common, and it is often cooked and offered to the guests. He further again in Asa Di War, in one of the sloks, he says, Apakhya ka kutha bakra khana, chauke upar kise na jana. They eat the meat of goats killed after the Muslims' prayers are read over them, but they do not allow anyone to enter their Hindu kitchen areas. In Rag Malar, there are long slokas of Guru Nanak which talk about meat, and where he says that Pehla maso namya मासे अंदर वास जो पाए मास मो मिलिया हड चुमतन मास मासो बाहर कड्डिया mama mass grass, that everything actually when we talk of human body and the human birth, and that is all relevant to meat, to flesh. And when he actually comes to talk about the fight between vegetarians and non-vegetarians, he says that मास मास ते मूर्ख झगड़े ज्ञान ध्यान नहीं जाने कौन साग कौन मास कहावे किस में पाप समाने. The fools argue about flesh and meat, but they know nothing about the meditation and spiritual wisdom. What is called meat and what is called green vegetables? What leads to sin? Nobody knows. Then when he talks to one of the Hindu scholars in the plains of Kurukshetra, he says, "Oh, religious scholar, meat is allowed in the Puranas. Meat is allowed in the Bible and Quran. Throughout the 4 ages, meat has been used. It is featured in sacred texts and marriage ceremonies. Meat is used in all of them." If we take the summary of the slokas in Rag Malhar, this is what Guru Nanak is saying. In the first slok, Guru Nanak asserts that flesh is a part of one's life. We all use or misuse flesh every day. A person is conceived, born, brought up, and dies in flesh. Flesh is used or misused every day by everyone, whether it is in the form of sucking milk from a woman's breast or it is an act of cohabitation between two partners. In the second slok, Guru asserts that the meat eating has been allowed in all the ages and by all the scriptures. He says that only fools quarrel over the pros and cons of eating meat. The flesh eating is a part of nature's game plan. No one can escape from it. If vegetarians boast about their own sanctity, then why do they accept favors from the non-vegetarians? Talking about killing, he says that even vegetation has life. The vegetarians cut short vegetation's life when they eat it. No one eats a dead or rotten vegetable. How can one judge that the killing an animal is a sin, whereas killing a plant is not a sin? The meat eating is thus not a religious, but a dietary, personal, and medical problem. Any form of food which is detrimental to health and which makes one lose one's senses should be avoided. The hymn of the Gurus and the Sikh Rait Maryada do not prohibit any kind of meat eating except halal meat, which Sikh Rait Maryada strictly forbids. They say a Sikh must not eat halal meat. The choice has been left to the individuals whether they wish to eat or not to eat meat. If the tradition is considered to be the source of law, then by tradition, most of the Sikhs are meat eaters. Thank you very much. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,